Hello, thank you for joining me today to start a little tiny sketchbook painting journey. The little sketchbook you're about to see is Legion, that's the brand. I've never tried them out before prior to this, so I can't really tell you how they are in comparison to other brands, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So the things that I'm using are watercolors, obviously, my sketchbook, and then a little cup of water. So here's the sketch that I had previously started. I inked it already, so it was pretty much ready to go. So the ironic thing about this is I bought a really small watercolor paintbrush specifically for this tiny sketchbook. And as you see, I'm using the biggest brush that I own. I really can't explain why, but I tried out the small brush and it didn't seem right, so I went with my gut and I grabbed this big brush. The nice thing about it is it has this super fine tip, so it holds a lot of water and a lot of pigment, yet it still is really good for details. So yeah, that's why I'm using unproportional tools. So as I mentioned before, I've never used this brand of paper before. However, to make it even more interesting, I've never used hot-pressed watercolor paper. I personally have only used cold-pressed. Now, if you don't know the difference, cold-pressed is the very textured watercolor paper, and hot-pressed is a lot smoother. So, I always thought that I preferred cold press, the very textured version, until I started using this paper. Now, I can't say if it's the brand or if it's just the texture that I prefer, but I was very impressed. Another thing I really liked about this type of paper, I swear it's not sponsored, I just really enjoyed using it, is that the pigment and the paint and the water all seem to kind of pool in one area until you manually move it. Whereas with the cold pressed paper, it almost seems like it can bleed through the crevices and the texture. So I really enjoyed having, I guess, more control, is how it felt. And unfortunately, I just went to the store and got a bunch of cold pressed paper. I got like 3 of them, so the next time I go out or the next time I fill them out, I will replace them. I want to try some more of this hot pressed paper. So at this point in the painting process, I was kind of like, oh crap, because this beige brown color against the red and the blues that I had, I wasn't sure if I loved it or not. However, it didn't stop me, I kept going, and as it goes on, you'll see I add green for the plants, and a red for the sign, and I think it really pulled it together. So, you know, as they say, always trust the process. I swear, it works. So I think I'm gonna plan on making a little series out of this tiny sketchbook, because recently, for the past year or so, I really enjoy painting storefronts or buildings, things that have geometric shapes, yet they still have a lot of character, you know, like each storefront, for example, you have a story with it. You know, the people that go there, the people who work there, the type of neighborhood it's in, something like that. And I don't know, I find it really fun. So I think I'm gonna just continue this, and each page I'll have a new location and a new little building, and I think that'll be pretty fun. So right here, I'm adding some color to kind of bring some dimension to the doors. You know, as if you can see through the glass or there's some colors coming through it. I think this part of the process also really helped to bring the full picture together. Before, when it was just a lot of white in the center, it definitely made it look incomplete, which, of course, the painting is nowhere near done right now, but I think adding this aspect to it definitely helped a lot, and it kind of filled that emptiness that our eyes were drawn to in the center. So here I'm grabbing my trusty jelly roll that I've probably had since middle school or high school. I don't know. These things last forever. Anywho, so this is my favorite part of any process of painting or drawing or any type of art, is adding highlights. Adding highlights is the absolute best part of drawing for me. It gives any two-dimensional drawing or painting or image this 3D, inviting, lifelike sort of feeling to it, and I just absolutely love doing it because it's so rewarding. It's like you finish your 2D piece and it looks decent, but after you add the highlights, it just looks so much better. Quick side note, please ignore my left hand. I don't know why I was doing that, but obviously it must have been comfortable because my fingers are just nice and cozy tucked in. Okay, anyways. So here I'm adding some white lines on the glass of the doors. This part was really cool because it gave the glass a reflective surface rather than just seeing directly through it. I really liked how it turned out, even though it's kind of hard to see, but I thought it was a pretty cool effect. So here's the final piece. Even though it was a really quick painting, it was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed the process. It was a fun challenge to use such a small sketchbook and a big brush apparently, but yeah, and I like how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. I plan on making this a little series, so hopefully I'll see you guys next time.